Hey cats, what's happening? Good morning. I'm up with the chickens this morning. The sun isn't even up yet, but it looks to be a decent day. I got my coffee in my hand and I'm heading up to Cleveland International Airport this morning. Not for me, I'm not taking a trip, I'm not going anywhere. Picking up my buddy Buzz as he returns from the Philippines. So it's going to probably take me about 45 minutes to drive up there, depending on traffic, and I'll see him when I get there. Well, I got my flight tracker here and it shows that the plane just landed. And then Buzz just texted me and said the plane's on the ground. He hasn't unboarded yet. He said it's going to take me a while to get my bag. Well, I know that. So I sit here. There's a place right on the side of the highway here where generally cars wait, because from here all I need to do is shoot straight up there and loop right around. The airport is actually right over there. And I can pick him up like that. They do have a waiting area where you can park, but that's more of a hassle to get in and out of. So this is just the push the easy button, you know. Well, we should be seeing him in just a minute or two. All right, I see him down here waving.
You had a camper on a shell in the back.
I did, but I took it off.
Oh,
there's the weary traveler.
Oh man, what a trip!
How long were you in the flight?
Oh, like 32 coming home, 32 hours.
Oh my gosh, you got to be ready to get home.
Yeah, well, we got in the airplane in Cebu. We had to sit there for 2 hours. They had something wrong. And it was like 100 degrees, so we're all sweating. Come on. I got to sit here sweating for 30 hours.
Oh, man. Well, it's good to have you home. Let's get you back home.
All right.
Well, I dropped him off at home, and he's going to have some jet lag to catch up on. As you may know, in the Philippines from here, right now it's morning here in Ohio, but over there it's evening, almost bedtime for them. So he's on a complete 12-hour flip-flop. So this is evening for him. He's got a lot of jet lag to recover from. I wouldn't want to be in his shoes. But yeah, like over 30 hours on the plane. Wow. That's a long time to be stuck in an airplane. I don't know if I would be too happy about that or not. Anyway, he told me that he bought me a souvenir. Of all things, he bought me a machete, a big knife. And sadly, you know, went through the TSA and they took it. Not allowed to take those on the flight. So he lost those at the airport. They wouldn't let him take them. That's all right though, you know. The thought was there. I'm good with it. Well, let's see. I'm gonna head home now and figure out what I'm gonna do for the day. Been getting warm here. Temperatures have been pushing up 90 degrees now, which is almost record-breaking here for springtime. I don't even know that it's summer yet. It's still May here, so coming into the end of May, but it's pretty warm. So we're looking at, it's already 70 degrees this morning, and the temperature's just going to keep going up today. So I don't know what I'm going to get into, but we'll see when I get home. I know I always show you my flowers, but I got another new iris that bloomed today. I think those are beautiful. It looks like the hummingbirds are coming to my feeder, but I really haven't seen them, but the liquid's going down. Look at these ferns. They're just going crazy here. They're taking over my stairs. I'm going to have to get my clippers out and cut all those back, but they're doing really well. Huge, the giant ferns. I had a baby bird. In fact, I see it in there right now. I think it fell out of the nest yesterday, and it was out here in the yard, and it ran back in under there, and every time I come out here, Mama starts chattering up a storm. Vegetable garden's doing pretty good here. My eggplant peppers, my tomatoes, my zucchinis, and my sunflowers. I had to replace that one because something had broke it off at the stem. Probably a bird, because I didn't see any tracks in here or anything in the dirt. So I just bought another one when I was out the other day and replaced it. Good grief, I don't know, can you see all of this pollen? It looks like a cloud coming off of those trees. Literally. Probably can't see it on the camera, but yeah, it looks like a yellow cloud. No wonder there's an alert, some kind of a, it's coming right towards me too. Ugh. Yeah, the wind picked up with a little gust, and it just looks like a big yellow cloud came out of those pines there. Sheesh. No wonder I'm sneezing every time I come outside. These iris are just a little bit different. These came from my father. They're a little smaller, but they're similar. When I was a kid, we were growing these down in the front of the house. When I was just a kid, and my dad loved his irises, and he dug some up, and when they moved, they planted them at their place not too far from here. And then before they moved out of there, he gave me a bunch of bulbs, and I planted them, and they kind of took off there. But these other varieties were ones that I got for Val. My zinnias are starting to bloom here. They said those will fill in real thick, and they'll continue to bloom all summer, so that's cool. Well, it's a hot one. It's going to be 90 again today. It's already hot. I tried to get my work done this morning after I came home from dropping Buzz off. It was still somewhat cool, and I thought, well, and so I went out and I tilled up all the weeds in the garden around my tomatoes and stuff. And I no sooner got out there and started working, and the sun came out and the heat came up, and now I'm burning up, and it's not even noon yet. So I don't know what I'm going to do from here. This coming up weekend is Memorial Weekend, a holiday week, a 3-day weekend for those of you who have to work. For me, it's always a 3-day weekend. It's a 7-day weekend. It's nice being retired. But I don't know, how about you? You got any plans for the Memorial Weekend? I got 2 picnics that I can go to. My neighbors across the street have invited me over for a picnic on Saturday, which I always look forward to hanging out with them. They're cool people, and big hearts, and they're always checking up on me, making sure that things are cool over here, and I appreciate that. And then my son is having a little picnic on Monday, Memorial Day proper, and he invited me over there. Now, it's not that big of a deal, but when I go over there, it's more kids than anything because his kids invite all of their friends, and it's a kids party. But it's a lot of fun anyways, and I go for the food because my son, he'll smoke the pork butt, and he'll have his pulled pork, and I love that. And that's on my diet too. Just putting that out there. As long as I skip the bread, I can eat all the pulled pork that I want. And you know what? I probably will go off on my diet for the Memorial Weekend. One thing I'm going to do though is I'm making 2 pies, strawberry rhubarb pie. My favorite. Will I have some? I have to. I mean, why not? It's certainly not going to kill me to have a piece of pie. I just don't make a habit of doing the sugars anymore, the sweets. They stay out of there. So, yeah, I'm going to make a couple of pies, and I like making pies. It's not that hard to make a pie. You can buy those Pillsbury pie crusts. All you got to do is unroll them and put them in the pie pan. Put your filling in there. Put the lid on it, crimp the edges. Throw it in the oven. And it's always a big favorite with everybody, too. I mean, who doesn't like pie? So those will be my contributions. One for the neighbor and one for my son's party. So, my wife would never go to a picnic or a party empty-handed. No, she wouldn't have it. So I can hear her talking in my ear over here, that you better bring something if you're going. And no matter what I do around here, I always hear her voice in the back of my head telling me what to do and what not to do. But as part of the holiday fun or tradition with a lot of people is to do fireworks. I've never been big on fireworks. I have the whistling bottle rocket things, I guess you call them. It's like a little firecracker on a stick, and when you light it, they take off like a rocket, and they go boom. I use those to keep the geese off of the pond in the back. Whenever I see geese back there, I get out my bottle rockets and I shoot one or how many ever. Usually one, and then they're gone. They take off and they leave. And sometimes they just see me coming out on the back deck, and they'll take off because they're like, oh no, we don't like those bottle rockets. But as far as holiday fireworks goes, I thought, I wonder if I should think about getting some fireworks for the holiday. And so I looked online at the local, I think it's called Phantom Fireworks, and they have a big store here. I've been to it before. That's where I got my bottle rockets. They have some amazing fireworks displays there, but the problem is the price. And here's the thing: you spend $60 to $69, $75 on a display that's going to shoot up maybe a dozen things in the air, and then it's done. I mean, it lasts probably. You'll be lucky if it lasts 30 seconds. So I mean, to me, that's a great way to spend $20 a second. I mean, and there goes your money out the window. And of course, everybody, but sometimes you buy those things and you light it, and it's nothing like you thought it was going to be. It's just kind of a fizzle thing, and you think, oh boy, I spent my money on that. So yeah, I kind of pulled in the strings on that. No big fire. Some of those fireworks packages they have are well over $1,000. You spend $1,000 for what? I could see if everybody was chipping in. If everybody chipped, say if you had everybody in the family chip in $50 or something, and you went down there and bought one of those bigger displays that had all kinds of stuff. They're packages. They got all kinds of different stuff in there to light and play with. It's probably your best bargain for buying fireworks to get a package rather than just buying one at a time. But anyway, not going to do it. I'm sure I'll see somebody's fireworks display somewhere down the road here, and that's good enough for me. You know, when I was a kid, we played with fireworks all the time. We used to get these cherry bombs, or M80s. Now, they probably still have them to whatever they, or maybe that's what they call them. But I don't think they have the power that they used to when we were kids. Because I swear one of those cherry bombs we would light when we were kids was about a half a stick of dynamite. You could put one of those under a coffee can, and when that thing exploded, that coffee can would shoot 60 feet in the air and it would land completely shredded or mushroomed out. They were powerful. But I haven't seen anything like that. I mean, most of these are just like a glorified firecracker nowadays. Maybe they still have that the powerful M80s, or maybe they got a different name for them now. But those were always fun, and you could throw them in the water too, and they'd start to sink, and then boom, and it would shoot up a big mushroom of water out of the river or the lake, whatever you threw it in. Watching a video the other day, one of those little silly shorts that come up. Guy, I think he was drunk as a skunk, but he took one of those little firecrackers. I forget what you call them, but you know, just the little firecracker things. Held it in his hand and lit it, and boom, it blew up in his fingers. Took another one and lit it, put it in his mouth. Boom! Blew up in his mouth. And he blew out a puff of smoke. That has to hurt. It has to be damaging. I mean, I'm sure even old lady fingers, I think they call them. Those things got enough power in them to break the skin, don't they? I mean, how could you be that ignorant to play around with something like that? I don't know. You know, the stuff they put on the internet nowadays gets a little absurd. I mean, I don't know if people are looking for attention or what, but good grief. We've got some storms brewing and the wind's picking up. But one of the things I always do is come out here first thing in the morning and I check my garden. And here I noticed this morning, that's rabbit fur. The rabbits have been in my garden, and the deer flies are biting already. Oh, I hate those things. But anyway, I could see along my fence where the rabbits had been digging, but there wasn't a hole like under the fence. I think those suckers can get through this fence. I think they can fit through one of these squares, because they've been definitely in here. I can see where they've been kind of rooting up the dirt around my plants. And then it looks to me like I'm missing sunflowers over there. I'm missing sunflowers back there. So they've been eating my sunflowers. Little devils. Well, I'll tell you what. See where they were digging there? And I think they went right through the fence there. Well, that wages war with me. I hear thunder rumbling now. I have seen 2 large rabbits. Most of the time I see them way down the driveway. But I have seen them up here in the front yard, and I have seen them over there close to my garden. I didn't think they could get through that fence, though. I mean, they're pretty big rabbits, but I think rabbits have a very narrow body. And I really do think they can fit through that cage. So, I have brought out my weapon of choice. My old trusty semi-auto 22 caliber. Thing works nice. It's very, very accurate. I mean, it just has the standard barrel sight, you know. Look down the barrel. But it's accurate if you can line it up right. And I'm going hunting. I'm going to tag me a couple of rabbits. As soon as I see them back in the yard again. And they'll sit real still. If I go out onto the porch, they'll sit real still. But, oh my gosh, I see one right now, and it's a baby rabbit. Right out here outside my window. Yep. Well, I tried sneaking out the back door to take a pot shot at it, but it took off that way. I have to be a little more sneaky. I will get him though. But that makes sense because that little rabbit could get through that cage. Maybe the big ones can't, but that one could. And where there's one, there's usually more. Probably got a whole dang litter of rabbits around here. Doggone it. Well, I'm really going to have to keep a tight vigil out on my garden now. I certainly don't want them getting in there and ruining my crops. You know, if it isn't one thing around here, it's something else, I'm telling you. It's always something going on. Guess that's what happens when you live out here in the country. You get varmints. Well, I'm putting that in service. It's loaded, it's ready to go. So the next time I see one out there, I'm going to be a little more crafty, a little sneakier. And I'm going to hunt me a wabbit. A measly little wabbit. Well, I'm not the only one with problems. Buzz just called me, and being that he was gone for a month, his truck was attacked by rodents, probably squirrels or chipmunks or something, and they chewed up the wiring harness, and his truck won't run. So yeah, he needs a hand. So I'm gonna head over there and give him a hand. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Prayers going out to you guys. And if you liked the video, hit me with a thumbs up and please subscribe. Till next time, cats, I'll catch y'all later.